anthem of Impact Wrestling show. I'm your host, Jason, as always. And today I'm going to give a nice review over this last Thursday night's episode of Impact Wrestling titled Crossroads. But first, I kind of want to give a few opinions. Some things have happened, obviously, the last couple of days. I didn't plan on doing this on a Saturday, but now I'm kind of glad I did. I'll give my thoughts at the end of this review on last Chancery. I'm not going to do a full review on that. I just don't have the time to. Plus, I just kind of wanted to sit and enjoy last night's Twitch exclusive event, last Chancery, without really taking notes. But I'll also let you guys know kind of my opinions on the show as a whole instead of going through like a full review. But another thing that happened was also last night at the Ring of Honor 16th anniversary show, Austin Aries showed up and challenged Kenny King for their television title. And he showed up with all of his belts, including the Impact World Championship belt. Of course, Twitter kind of blown up, and a little bit of both sides. You got people that are blowing up saying, "Oh my God, this is really cool." You got people that are saying this is bullshit. And then, of course, you got the dirt sheets that are saying, "Well, Impact Wrestling executives didn't even know because he's not really technically signed under contract." Or that, look, he's their world champion. They knew. Like, you can't just take a company's product onto another show without them clearing it. He could have shown up, but the only reason he had that Impact Wrestling Championship belt on his hand is because Ed Nordholm, Scott D'Amore, and Don Callis knew he was going to show up. Now, does this mean partnership? Probably not, but it's probably a good step, at least in a right direction of mending fences and maybe sometime down the road doing something like they're doing with Lucha Underground at WrestleCon. You know, I think a lot of people would love to see a Ring of Honor versus Impact Wrestling show, or a pay-per-view, or, you know, maybe Ring of Honor wants to really up their super card, because back in the day, super cards used to be like AWA and World Class Championship Wrestling would get together, plus maybe another company would get together and they'd put on this big, huge, you know, pay-per-view of sort of big event. Well, Super Card of Honor, it's just them, really. There's nothing different, because it is just kind of them and the New Japan people, which are on all their pay-per-views and TV shows anyway. So that's not that big of a deal. You know, maybe they want to actually get to that point where maybe they bring in more people, and you could bring in an Impact Wrestling and do stuff. I think all those things would be cool ideas in the future, but as far as of right now, I don't think there's a partnership, but I do think it is, like I said, a good step in the right direction. The biggest thing I can come up with out of all this stuff, though, with the Austin Aries appearance is this. For everybody, the hypocrisy in the internet wrestling community is at an all-new high. Impact Wrestling is a joke. Impact Wrestling is still doing this, and this. You know, still paying people late, or whatever the fake news crap that they've got going on every day. You know, Impact's such a joke, blah, blah, blah. You know, Austin Aries had 4 belts from 4 different promotions on his arm. IPW UK, Defiant, can't remember the other one, and then, of course, Impact. Not to mention, I saw one tweet, and that's from IPW UK, that tweeted, "Oh, look at, we've shown up at Ring of Honor." Outside of them, like, I'm talking about just non-partial people. The only belt that people are worried about, that people are talking about, that people are speculating about, is that Impact Wrestling World Championship. But Impact's a joke, right? Impact is irrelevant, right? Everybody that is in Impact Wrestling is irrelevant, right? Yet, people in WWE, Ring of Honor, all they want are people that belong to Impact Wrestling. It's hilarious to me. And I love seeing this. And of course, people are going to go off, especially the dirt sheets. Man, PW Insider, and usually I have found them very credible people. Usually they don't just throw out nonsense. They usually have never given out opinion to make it look, or speculation to make it look like, you know, fact, like this is gonna happen. Like maybe some other ones like WrestleZone and the Dirt Sheet, or the Wrestling Sheet. Meltzer sometimes even throws out speculation and turns into reporting of facts. Usually PW Insider hasn't done that. But I don't know if they're just not doing very well as far as maybe subscribers to their website, to their newsletter and all that stuff, or what. But out of nowhere, where you would really think two respected men in the wrestling business like Don Callis and Scott D'Amore taking over would garner some respect from people that have been reporting on the wrestling business for a very long time. But no, instead Mike Johnson and PW Insider all of a sudden has like really jumped on the whole shitting on Impact Wrestling no matter what they do bandwagon and reporting whatever the hell they want on Impact Wrestling. Of course, they were the first ones that I saw, at least the first ones to start reporting about, did Impact Wrestling know that Austin Aries was going to show up at? Yes, they did. They did. And if they didn't, then guess what? Austin needs to go. I hate to say it because, you know, we've been through so many of these situations, but and by the way, I don't think that's the case at all. I really don't, because I don't think Austin's doing that. I really do think he probably let them know, and they were like, yeah, that's fine. In fact, yeah, you can take the Impact belt out there if you want. They'd have to know. They'd have to know. They probably didn't have to clear it, but they probably at least had to clear Austin having the belt on him. You know? And I'm sure they were all for it because they knew what was going to happen. They knew what was going to happen. They knew the wrestling world was about to blow up. I mean, on the same night, literally, almost at the exact same time as Austin's match on Chancery last night was happening, boom, Austin shows up on Ring of Honor television and is challenging Kenny King for that TV title. And again, I have seen some people talk about, you know, oh, this is ridiculous. How can Impact let this happen? Because he's going for a lesser title. Well, in Ring of Honor, the television title for a very long time, here recently not so much, but for a very long time, especially, well, really period, up until, I'm trying to think who had that TV title right before Marty Scurll. Was it Jay Lethal? I can't remember. But anyway, a lot of people have had it, and they've held that. They held that title right here, Ring of Honor World title, television title. I mean, they were identical. I've talked about this before on what I wish Impact would do with the Grand, turn that into kind of a TV title, or even keep it a Grand, but just try to make it just that much more important to where it's like right there, you know. So then that's kind of how you can set up world title feuds. Whoever's holding that Grand Championship, boom, you know that they're on the same level, so then they can go at each other. So I don't see it as like necessarily a downgrade. Plus, I didn't see the clip yet, but a lot of people are saying they never once mentioned that he was the Impact Wrestling champion. It doesn't look bad at all because they're not acknowledging those belts. It's just part of Austin's gimmick. So that's fine. I'm not too worried about that at all. But you know, again, we're jumping the gun. Who knows? This match, they could have a couple matches. They could have a match on Ring of Honor. They could have a match at Impact Wrestling. You know, not too far from now, I know we've got Redemption, but then just in a couple months after that, you got Slammiversary. Maybe they're going to work out a deal. Okay, listen, we'll let Austin wrestle with our championship on their show. We want that rematch at Slammiversary. Now, who could be somebody that maybe by Slammiversary I think would be a good, credible opponent for the World Heavyweight Championship? I think we get a lot of people talking. There's two people, Jay Lethal, Chris Daniels. I would love to see Christopher Daniels versus Austin Aries, if that's who still has the belt, come Slammiversary. really, regardless of who has the belt, I would love to see any of those guys from Ring of Honor maybe wrestle for that World Championship at Slammiversary. But I think it's got to be a guy that also was in Impact, and was like good in Impact. You know, so like Christopher Daniels, like I said, he's the one that really sticks out in my mind. But I would also love to see Jay Lethal, mainly because I'd love to see Jay Lethal back in Impact Wrestling, wrestling for that world title or the grand title on a consistent basis. But yeah, so with last night, people, let's just wait and see. I think it's very interesting. It's got people talking. That's the most important thing. And I know a lot of people want to keep throwing the, well, Impact is Impact. No, because it's not the same people. It's not the same people running Impact. It's total different people running Impact. These guys know what they're doing. Don Callis was, was the man behind the Jericho coming to New Japan whenever nobody thought it was going to happen. This is just something I think they're really good at, and they're good at working people and pulling out surprises and working with unlikely partners. Don Callis, he works for New Japan, but obviously he's right there with a lot of Ring of Honor guys. He can talk to Ring of Honor probably all the time and be like, hey, listen, this is what we think this would be a good idea, hey, blah, blah, blah. That's all I'm saying. Let's wait it out. Let's watch. Let's just enjoy what it could happen here for the other than WWE wrestling scene. I think a lot of good things are happening, and a lot of good things are going to keep happening. Let's just all enjoy it. Instead of fighting each other as far as like fan bases, let's all embrace each other and have fun, because there's only one company that keeps trying to monopolize this whole wrestling business, and that's the WWE. Everybody else should be kind of somewhat banding together to put on these amazing cards and amazing shows and doing things for the fans. And that's just what I have to say about the Austin Aries things last night. Now, like I said, stay tuned after this review. I'll just give my quick opinions on last night's Twitch exclusive event, Last Chancery. But let's go ahead. I've been talking about this for a while now. Let's go ahead and jump into the Crossroads event from Impact Wrestling. I thought that opening package, that the video opening package, was done really well. It definitely felt like a pay-per-view, like a pay-per-view opening. It really gave off that pay-per-view feel, and I was really excited for the night. Really hyped up for it. Then they go to Sanjay and Josh Matthews in the virtual studio. Now, Josh is wearing a suit, so it doesn't really stand out too much if he's wearing the same thing. Sanjay's wearing the exact same thing he wore last week. Whenever they know that they're taping another episode, just change the shirt a little. Just put on another shirt. That can't be that big of a deal, that hard. Just bring some shirts and then change, because it looks really ridiculous. And I know that they're not necessarily hiding the fact that they're a tape show, but just put in a little extra effort to not make it so obvious, I guess. That was just kind of my little thing that just stood out. I'm wearing the exact same thing he did last week. But we start off the show with a great match. Again, another great opening match to get the show started off, to get everybody hyped, to get everybody okay, we're in for a good night, because now people just got to top this. And that was the LAX versus Cola Lee World Tag Team Championship match. I just thought it started off great. Again, it started off with just, the sneak attack from behind, and just, very aggressive, all out on the floor, all over the place, everybody wrestling at the same time type thing. I think I've said this before, but I could watch these two teams just fight all the time. They've got really good chemistry. Everything comes off really well. Looks super smooth. All the different double teams that they were doing comes off really well. And then, at the end of the day, Conan gets up, does a little distraction, and LAX gets the win, holds on to the titles. Again, I have a feeling this feud then, because they've traded wins, will continue, and this should be the match at Redemption, and it should be a really good match. Hopefully they up the stakes a little bit, make it a some kind of match, whatever it is, street fight or something, cage match. I don't care what it is, but it, hopefully they put a gimmick to it and make it a little bit better. Well, make it a little bit better. What I mean. Then after that, we get the title versus title. Taiji Ishimori versus Matt Sydal. I'm really liking this very slow um, heel turn by Seidel, because it's still not really. He's not acting heelish. He's just acting douchey. I guess you could say, like, in a way, cocky and douchey a little bit. Um, you know, and it's just he does it really well. He does it really well, and I'm really liking it. It's different. Um, but I just really like it. They gave this match a ton of time. These two are another two guys that actually do a really good job together. Um, and again, this whole match was just a lot of fun. In fact, like my notes on this match were very minimal because I just kept getting lost in the match instead of being like, oh yeah, this is a good point. Oh yeah, because I literally wrote down that I like this slow heel turn. Wow, they gave this match a lot of time, and it's a really good fun match. Like that was because it was fun. I just lost myself in it. It was a lot of fun, a lot of good different strikes. These two are really good. Seidel really fits that that junior heavyweight Japanese strong style type style really well, and he does it with that WWE flair of showmanship. That really kind of the only place you do learn that is in the WWE because they teach you to do everything for the cameras and for such a large crowd. So it comes off really well. Matt Seidel's just really good. But he gets the win. He is now a double champion. So yeah, so good things. Good, nice push for Matt Seidel. I'm liking it. Up next, we get the knockouts. Laurel Van Ness versus Allie. I believe this is now Laurel's last match. Again, another kind of a quick start. Allie jumped Laurel before the match. I thought this was another just really good, fun match again. It was just really good. You bought in, you felt it. They told a good story. The battle, Allie's battled to win this title for some respect, for her getting revenge on Laurel for always, picking on her way back in the day. Way back in a couple years ago. And these two are good, and Allie's really good. I really like that they're really fully kind of letting Allie be who she is and let her really wrestle the way she can because she's a really good wrestler. But yeah, again, some really cool spots, some crazy spots. But luckily, gratefully, Allie wins and is your new knockout champion. And then, of course, after the match, they show the backstage thing where, Gail was there to comfort her and, congratulate her and all that stuff. And that was done really good. Up next, we get OVE versus Lashley in a handicap match due to the fact that Eddie can't wrestle. Again, they started off fast. They start, somebody tries to jump the match and gets it going. Sami Callihan's obviously on the outside. He constantly keeps getting involved. Distracting Lashley or touching Lashley. And man, I'll tell you what, and I've said this many times, especially whenever Lashley has gone against these guys or gone against Eddie or anybody else, it doesn't matter who it is. Lashley can go in the ring with them. He is so good. Lashley might be the guy I probably missed from Impact the most. Hopefully he'll eventually come back, whenever that may be, a couple years down the road, I don't know. But, man, he's so good. He can literally go with anybody. Put in somebody fast or small, it doesn't matter. He can go toe-to-toe with them. He pulls off the big, brooding beast maybe better than anybody. He doesn't slow down a match against a slow guy where it's so or against a fast guy, a smaller guy, to the point where it gets just boring. He goes to toe with them, but yet still shows his dominance and being able to throw the guy around. He's just really good. So, and that stuck out in my mind again, that he can just go with anybody. But after Sami Callihan kept, and getting in on him, Cage's music hits. Brian Cage comes out and he tags in Lashley, or he tags himself in by tagging Lashley, comes in, just destroys OVE, and gets the win for him and Lashley. Cage is amazing. Cage is another guy that I think can probably rival Lashley with being this big brute muscular dude, but he can go in the ring. He can do the slow, demonstrative beast beatdown. He can do quick moves. He can be flashy if he wants, and he's also just really good. And after the match, Lashley, was kind of taken back by it, but still shook out his hand, put out his hand for a handshake. Cage just kind of looked at it, kind of shook his head and left. This will be good if they do that. I can't remember if they do. I feel like I remember hearing somebody talk about a Cage versus Lashley match during the last set of tapings. I hope that's where they're going with this. Ooh, that'll be a good match. Good. I'm not gonna say dream match, but that's a good fantasy match, right? So that'll be good. Then after that, we come to our main event of the evening, and what a main event it was. I'll tell you what, this match, they did a great job going back and forth. Nobody looked weak in this match. Let's see here. I thought the match, was really good. Like I said, the last 2 to 3 minutes where they really started, they ramped up everything, and now it took it to a whole new level. Austin Aries ended up getting the win. After the match, they give each other some respect. And then, of course, Alberto El Patron comes walking out to the ramp area and just clapping, clearly, trying to show that he's up next and he wants that title, which should be another good, interesting match. I'd be definitely looking forward to Patron versus Aries. But yeah, I thought overall this was just a really good show. The one downfall, and I think somebody else pointed it out, I've seen some other people point it out on Twitter, is this week didn't need that GWN moment of the week that plays out at least like a good 2.5 minute match, because it just disrupted from things. We could have used a different backstage segment there maybe, or could have given like Laurel and Allie maybe a few more minutes there on their match. Something. I just didn't think we need that Global Wrestling Match of the Week. I also think those GWN moments of the week should kind of be more of like a quick thing. I know like they really want to do something with it, but I don't know. Maybe show what happened, like pick like a really cool moment from last week, and then before that happens, be like, this is a GWN moment of the week. And, and it shows, like a bunch of different old school superstars or whatever, Raven, Jarrett, Nash, Hall, whatever that they want to show. And then you go into like a moment, say like a really cool Brian Cage move. Of course, then whenever they come back from that leads into a Brian Cage match. Something like that. That'd be fine. But yeah, I'm kind of like, okay, I don't, because it takes me out. Like, even though they're cool memories, if that's what I was wanting to do, I'd go turn on Pluto, I'd go turn on Twitch, I'd go turn on the GWN app to watch old school stuff, or I'd go grab one of my DVDs and put it in the DVD player. Like, that's what I would do if I was in the mood to watch old school TNA wrestling. Whenever I'm watching the weekly show, I'm not in that mood. I'm dialed into what's happening in this episode and not wanting to see what happened back in 07, on a really good show. And especially whenever they're trying to get new viewers, I think that also takes them out of it. And it kind of shows just how far Impact is from what they were. And I don't think that's a good look either. So, I get the marketing behind it. I just wish that they would change it up, especially on a show like this where they're trying to play it off almost like a pay-per-view quality free show. Don't do it. That's all. That was the only gripe I really had about the whole show. Everything else was really good. It was fun. Yeah, looking forward to Redemption now, though, for sure, because I feel like they're going to pull out like all the stops for this Redemption pay-per-view. I really do. But anyway, that was my review on that. Now here's a few thoughts on last night's Chancery. I thought the whole show was awesome. I thought actually this show compared to that WrestlePro Brace for Impact, the last Twitch exclusive, huge upgrade. huge upgrade in quality. The sound was way better, and I love the fact that they actually did backstage interviews. That was really cool. It made it feel like more like a show. As in, with that Brace for Impact, it seemed way more just kind of like pieced together. I don't know. Not as good a quality. The matches were great, and I really enjoyed the Brace for Impact. Don't get me wrong. But just, yeah, the sounds, but like you could hear people. Like, I remember there was a couple talking segments during that Brace for Impact that, like, you're like, what? I can't hear. Because, you know, there was no volume to the cameras and, you know, to the, audio board or whatever, their equipment. You know, they were just picking it up on the microphones on the camera, like, out loud. There's no feed or whatever. I don't know what I'm not really into, as you can see, I don't really know how this shit works. So with this one, you know, Braxton Sutter got on the mic, and you could understand him. Eli Drake got on the mic. You can understand him. Like, you could hear him just fine. And I just thought overall, the whole show as a whole, it was good. It felt like a one-night only pay-per-view. But we were getting it on Twitch. The matches were a lot of fun. I tell you what, obviously we've seen Cody Deaner before. He's been in Impact Wrestling before. But him and Jake Something, Cousin Jake, who we've also seen Jake Something on Impact as kind of a jobber before, here these last several months. But that team, I'd welcome into Impact. Can't wait for Desi Hit Squad to come into Impact, because we need more tag teams. I would jump on bringing back VOW as well. And then, of course, Reno Scum, they're going to be on the, I believe it's the March break, or no, is it March Breakdowns? I can't remember, but it's the ones that they're doing a couple road shows out in California, and they're going to be a part of one of those shows. So that's cool. Reno Scum coming back would be cool. But yeah, I just thought overall, I had a lot of fun watching last night. A lot of good matches. Yeah, I'm trying to think of anything else that kind of stuck out. Oh, I know. One thing I wanted to talk about was an idea that I have for the X Division. Because everybody's that's kind of been like the big thing. Once X Division kind of got off the rails and kind of was a shell of itself, how do we get it back to what it was? Here's my idea, and let me know what you guys think about this idea down in the comments, or hit me up on Twitter at Anthem of Impact with your comments. So they had a 4-way X Division match, right? You had Idris Abraham, Phil Atlas, Brett Banks, and then Petey Williams. And I was thinking about it, and one thing I think they could do to constantly keep it fresh, keep it different, keep it international, is this. You take the junior heavyweights, cruiserweight, X Division style athletes from around the world, whether they're in your partners from AAA, from NOAH, from Border City, from just, even if they're just random, anybody from the UK, even if they're just random independent wrestlers that you can sign for an appearance here or there. Have them constantly changing out, and those are your X Division matches. Everybody can be a part of the X Division if they want to, basically. And then whoever you decide to throw the title on, obviously you have your home base of X Division stars, your Desmond Xavier's, your Taiji Ishimori's, your Matt Sydal's, and whoever, but everybody else, you just kind of pay per appearance, unless they're holding the title. Then maybe you try to sign them up for a, lengthy contract to get them through a good story or so. But I think that would keep it different. So now that's the way you can constantly have a revolving door of international guys. Again, it keeps the X Division fresh because it's new faces quite often. People that you can see, pay appearance, get ACH in for a month, right? Have him in for a set of tapings. He's in there for a month. He's wrestling, doing X Division matches. Boom, he's out. And then you don't bring him back for maybe another couple months, and then you bring him back in for a little bit or whatever. I just think that's the way you can make the X Division different again, bring it back, make it international, because that's one thing that's starting to get really hot is people are really interested in Japanese wrestling and UK wrestling, and Mexican wrestling and Canadian wrestling and all this stuff, and you can make that international. I mean, Impact did that for a while, whenever they would do like the World X Cups and stuff like that. So I just think it'd be something different. It would be kind of taking the Cruiserweight Classic, what the WWE did, and making it, that's what your division is. There's no tournaments. It's just, that's your division. It's international. It's high flying. It's it's death defying moves. It's fun. It's action. It's crazy. It's great athletes. I think that's how you can make the X Division special and something different. So again, let me know what you guys thought about this idea down in the comments. Also, just let me know what you guys thought about anything that's going on this weekend. The Austin Aries thing, the last Chancery, the Crossroads event. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think. Hit me up on Twitter at Anthem of Impact. If you don't follow me, go follow me. What is wrong with you? If you're not subscribed to this channel, again, what is wrong with you? Hit the subscribe button. Hit those notification buttons so you always know when I'm posting a video. Hit the like button. Because I like to be liked, yeah, just good things are happening for Impact Wrestling, guys. Let's just all sit back and enjoy it. Let's try not to nitpick it, and let's try not to let the dirt sheets get under our skin like they know that they can. Until next week, Impact Nation, peace.